Welcome to the inaugural episode of Ross's Game Dungeon. I'm Ross. So what is this show? Well, the first thing I should get out of the way is the Game Dungeon is not a game-themed S&M show. So if that's what you're expecting, I'm sorry, but this isn't what you're looking for. At least not this episode. For everyone else, this is about games and... Okay, look. I think the best way to look at this show is, you know how some street people in cities start screaming and preaching at everyone about the end of the world or UFOs or something? They don't even care if anyone is listening or not? Well, if you think of me like that, then you shouldn't be disappointed with this show. Okay, let's get started. Tyrian is an amazing game. Where do I start? Well, it's a vertical scrolling shooter, and I'm gonna say it's the most remarkable one ever made. Now that's a tall claim, and will no doubt drive a few of you crazy, thinking I'm just ignorant, but I'm gonna back it up in this video. You watch. I guess I should talk about the graphics. The graphics in this game are good. I'm not going to be unrealistic and claim these are the best graphics of any vertical shooter, because they're not, even for 95, but they have a nice art style and it all feels very cohesive. The art is consistent across the ships, the terrain, the effects, everything. I've seen some vertical shooters that look like they're just plastering a video against a blue screen for the background, like you would expect from a used car lot commercial. You know, the really cheap ones that you see on local access television. For me, that's important because graphics are part of what creates the atmosphere for a game, which can be half the experience, over half the experience for some games. While I'm on the topic, maybe some of you aren't interested in this game because you see it and you think, oh no, these graphics are old. Why would I ever play this? Well, if that's the case, maybe you can just stop watching this show. I don't know. You make me sad either way and maybe a little angry. See, here's the thing about graphic snobs. They're kind of hypocrites and they don't even know it. Think of the most realistic looking game you know of today. It looks amazing, right? Well, guess what, graphic snobs? That game you think looks so great now, I guarantee you is going to look lame in 20 years compared to what you can play in your holodeck. In fact, I bet you've played games in the past you thought looked good, but don't look so hot now. So when you regularly bash games for dated graphics that at one time you would have liked, that makes you a clockwork hypocrite. Evolving graphics are just a treadmill, so if you can't even appreciate them in different flavors like this, what are you doing with your life? Okay, I should stop arguing with my imaginary audience. Let's talk about the gameplay. You blow stuff up, but there are so many layers of blowing things up in this game. Between each mission, you can upgrade your ship, and you can buy front guns, rear guns, left wing guns, right wing guns, and your primary guns have upgradable levels. They go up to 11, literally. Some guns have alternate fire modes you can toggle on the fly. Some guns you can only buy at certain planets, as the options will change depending on what neck of the galaxy you're in. Plus, sometimes you have to make hard choices between picking a beefy weapon, but not having a good enough generator to keep it firing continuously. It adds more incentive to blow up more ships so you can collect more money, as if there wasn't enough incentive for that already. There are dozens of guns for you to choose from in this game, and I guess hundreds of different loadouts. Now you might be saying, Ross, I'm from Montana. These aren't enough guns for me. Well, stay with me here. In addition to the many guns that you can buy, on some levels you can find permanent special weapons that will fire periodically on top of the ones you already have. Most of these just light people's asses up even more, but some of them have special abilities. My favorite one is defensive and causes bullets to be repelled from you if you start tapping the fire button. Look at this. That comes in useful more than a little bit. I actually like it when games have wildly unbalanced abilities like this. You see that a lot more in older games. Okay, but if that's still not enough guns for you because you're the sort of person who wants to start his own country, this game has what are called twiddle codes. These work like combo moves in a fighting game. You perform a special move and certain ships will unleash even more firepower, or activate different abilities like cloaking or something. Now this is gun-tastic, but none of this is truly what makes Tyrian stand head and shoulders above other vertical shooters out there. I'm gonna show you why right now. Watch this. Do you see that? That right there is what separates this game from maybe 95% of every other vertical shooter out there. You don't die in one hit. You can take many hits in this game, and you'll need to. You have so many layers of defense in this game to try and keep you going. First, you have shields. This game takes place in 20,000 AD. Who would have thought that we might invent a shielding system for our ships by then? Actually, that's probably the most unrealistic part of this game, assuming that humanity will even be alive by then. No matter, the shields are not only your first line of defense, but they are rechargeable. They come back slowly over time. But if you run out of shields, you have armor on your hull to protect you. But then, if you scrape away too much armor on your hull, this emergency ship will sometimes fly by and you have a chance to replenish your armor and keep you back in the game. But then, if you just flat out die, you never run out of lives in this game. You just go back to the beginning of the mission and can even re-equip your ship if you want to try a different strategy. And then you can save your game in between missions on top of all this. And the game has manual and automatic saves. Good God! It's almost like the designers of this game wanted you to play it and have fun. The vast majority of vertical shooters are not designed this way. So everyone who thinks this game has nothing on Raiden, Ikaruga, Jamestown, what now, huh? What now? I mean, sure, other shooters may give you a power-up that lets you take 2 hits, or have as many as 3 lives, or some other crap, but what the hell is the point of that? To make you die so you have to stick more coins in your computer or console, except you can't do that? I don't like games that demand perfection and will punish me for anything less. I think this is a cultural attitude about gaming. The majority of vertical shooters I know of come from Japan, and I've joked about it before in another video, but seriously, a lot of Japanese games carry this all or nothing attitude, where you have to be flawless at a very hard game or you fail, game over. Plus, to add insult to injury, in most Japanese shooters I've seen, they also like to put you through what's called bullet hell. Bullet hell is when they throw so many shots on the screen to try and kill you in one hit, they're basically just trolling you to try to get you to die and stop playing. Only the chosen ones may have the honor of beating a Japanese vertical shooter. I don't play games as a test of my honor. Now, I can appreciate a challenge, but many Japanese games are just the digital equivalent of being beaten with a stick over and over again. I don't know, maybe that's considered acceptable fun in Japan. Tyrian takes the opposite approach and tries to keep you in the fight. Now, before everyone accuses this game of being too easy, look at this. You have easy, medium, and hard. But I admit, even hard can be kind of easy. Well, if you enter in a code, now you have impossible, and the later levels of that can get pretty brutal. Ships have different AI, they throw way more shots at you, and the shots are a lot faster, even with my repelling trick. The game's friggin' hard at this point. So naturally, if you enter in another code, you get suicide, because this game wants the masochist out there to have fun too. But after that, I guess to appeal to Asian markets, if you enter in another code, they have Lord of the Game. I haven't even played this mode, but I'm sure even this isn't as hard as your average Japanese shooter. You'll notice there is no you die in one hit, go to hell, and stop playing our game mode. Even though Tyrian is inspired by a Japanese game, Xanac, it's an American game and it shows. It's a shame because I love vertical shooters, but so few are like this. Doing non-stop strafing runs and blowing the hell out of everything is awesome. I just don't like how most games of this genre expect you to suffer repeatedly as part of the experience. Okay, you should know that I'm a soundtrack freak. So any game I talk about, I'm gonna have to talk about the music. The music in Tyrian ranges from okay to fantastic. Most of it was composed by Alexander Brandon, who also did the music to Unreal and most of Deus Ex. And the soundtrack to Unreal, alongside Symphony of the Night, is basically the best game soundtrack ever made, so some of that quality bleeds into this game. I do feel like this music was kneecapped by the technology available at the time, however. Half the songs in this game are screaming for a modern day rendition, so hop to it, people. Good. Keep it up. Okay, I need to stop before I put myself into a music coma. Alright, there's one big thing left I can say that separates this game not only from other vertical shooters, but I would say most video games out there. Now what could that be that I haven't already talked about? The graphics are good, the gameplay is great, the music is great, well the writing in this game is fantastic. Now you may think I just said the wrong word, because I can do that sometimes, and I hope I'm not slowly losing my mind, but no, you heard me correctly. The writing in this game is great, which I think is more than can be said for the vast majority of video games. And this is a vertical shooter. It doesn't need good writing. But the designers apparently said hell with it and gave you the equivalent of a book for the story because I guess the game just wasn't awesome enough already. I have a ship that's a carrot. The way the writing works in this game is when you blow up some ships, you can grab data cubes.
Data acquired.
This is your interstellar email. You pick up transmissions this way and you can read through them at the end of the level. You get these sweet 80s style animation portraits to go with your emails. Then you get to learn about the plot this way. And it is a diverse world that they have fleshed out here. And I say they, but really the writing is all one person. The same as the composer, Alexander Brandon again. He's also an accomplished voice actor. He's a friggin' renaissance man. This is going to date this video, but I watched a World of Warcraft trailer recently, and the writing in it was so bad, it was on that border between painful and almost so bad it's cheesy enjoyable, but they didn't quite make it there.
You confront a force beyond reckoning. Your father dabbled in powers beyond reckoning. The world will hear of this. They will come for you. Yes, I'm counting on it.
So Blizzard now, which has what, billions to work with, is getting their ass kicked in writing by one guy from almost 20 years ago. Things like that are why I appreciate old games. They don't have to get sucked into this whirlpool of lowest common denominator corporate bullshit. Frickin' pandas. Alright, to be fair, some of the writing is simply okay, but the rest is basically book-worthy. If you've ever read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you're going to like the writing in this game. It fleshes out this really rich and diverse universe and tries to add context to everything. This is a goldmine of intellectual property. You could have a dozen spin-offs based on this universe, and they could all be awesome. Here, I know this video is getting long, but I'm gonna read you a snippet. This planet is home to the largest mass of organic creatures ever seen. What breeds down in the pits of the planet is unknown and unrecognizable, but can be purchased for a low price at Wabo, Land o' Meat. Skipping. Vegetarians should avoid this planet at all costs, as the local creatures view such people as lowest on the food chain. As far as this planet is concerned, vegetarians are free game. Many a hapless veggie has dared to avoid the local food and has been subsequently eaten. A common saying on Gaijis: if you don't want to eat my friends, then I'll eat you. If you're fortunate enough to be allowed to visit the Great Stomach to pay homage to him, you will find your stay well rewarded. Only a few are allowed to visit this special creature, and he has it in his power to make those he trusts quite lucrative deals. Authorities claim he is often in violation of intergalactic law with his enterprises, but so far none of the police have been able to arrest the entire planet. And I'm just scratching the surface of this writing. The game is packed with lots of funny science fiction concepts. You also get propaganda, future spam mail, and one email is even one from your cat complaining about the quality of the food from the automatic dispenser that you left it with. You get all this on top of a vertical shooter. It blows my mind. So what's bad about this game? Almost nothing. You can upgrade your weapons maybe a little too fast and can't spend it on anything else once you're decked out. Also, at the harder difficulty levels, while they do change the AI, they also make the enemies take a lot more hits. And really, how many shots can a starship really take from a pulse cannon? That's it. This game is as close to perfect as you can get. All of you should go and play it right now. It turned free a few years ago. It's been ported to other platforms too. You can even play this on your damn phone now. The only excuse not to play this is if you don't like action or shooter games and prefer slower, more dialogue-based games. If that's the case, you get a free pass. For now. I'll come back for you later. Everyone else, go play this game. It will make you weep because there aren't more games like this. So what have we learned here today? That not showing hatred for your players can be a good thing, And adding good writing as an extra layer to a game can make it a much richer experience for almost no cost. Why don't more companies do this? I don't know. Okay, that's the end. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will contain nudity. Swiss Family Cheese. Another family spectacle for one and all. This memorable series about a family of cheese mold will bring a tear to your eye and a glow to your heart. Through wind, rain, drought, and competing parasites, this family will persevere. Not because they are strong, but because they have the will to survive. It's another FluxNet 21 show you won't want to miss.